So you're thinking about moving to Atlanta, and before you do, you're wondering like how much home can I afford, right? There's a lot of variables that go into that. Maybe you're a first-time home buyer, you're moving and getting your family home for the first time. Maybe you just haven't done it in a long time, or you were single and now you have a family, or maybe you're wondering about property taxes and income tax and how that factors into your life and your lifestyle and all the things that go into how much home can you afford in Atlanta, Georgia. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video. So if you've got any interest whatsoever in buying a home in Georgia, or you've got some uncertainty around your budget and what that might look like, you're going to want to stick around for that. And we're going to get after it right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good and the bad of living in Atlanta, Georgia, well then subscribe below and ring that bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market here in Atlanta or what it takes to buy a house. My name's Denny. The team and I get calls each and every day from people just like you looking to make the move to Atlanta, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving next week, next year, or anytime in between, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, schedule a Zoom, and we'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Atlanta. As I mentioned in this video, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about how much home you can afford, what all the expenses are going to be, what your budget's going to look like. And I'm going to take it from the perspective of, a family and someone that makes about $180,000 a year. Now, you may not make that much, or you may make 10 times that much, but as a family man that lives in Atlanta, I feel pretty confident about my ability to kind of help you unpack all the different variables and all the moving parts so that you can be confident in your decision and you can comfortably afford the home that you're looking at. Because let's face it, with the rising prices and rates and all the different things that are going on, it's hard to be completely confident and certain, right? And with information and competence comes confidence. And so I want to arm you with all the information you need to make a confident decision. I got some notes just because I don't want to be doing a bunch of math, while I'm sitting here talking to you. And so I wrote that down in advance just so I can keep myself on track. Now, again, I want to give you the perspective that we're talking about a family. So married, maybe a couple of kids, income $180,000 a year. That's going to be gross before taxes and expenses. Now, this could be one person, or it could be, husband and wife, or both spouses or partners working. And so there's all kind of different family dynamics, and sometimes both partners work, sometimes one spouse works and one stays home. Your lifestyle is not as much an interest as how that translates into you affording or buying a home. And so here's the first thing that you need to understand. Yes, your credit is important, because your credit bureau, your credit worthiness is going to determine whether or not you qualify, what your rate's going to be. And that's one of the things the lender's going to look at. First thing they're going to look at beyond your credit that a lot of people don't understand is called your DTI, your debt to income ratio. And there's two numbers I want you to remember: 28 and 36. 28% of your gross income can be spent on your home, on the debt, on your mortgage. But 36% of your gross income can be spent on all of your debt, including your home. And Denny, what does that mean? That means your home plus your car, credit cards, student loans. Did you get some furniture that you borrowed money for? Did you buy a lawnmower? Did you, put your vacation on a credit card? Like anything and everything, any kind of debt goes in that total bucket. 28% of $180,000 is $50,400. That's the most you can spend on your mortgage. 36% of $180,000 is $64,800. So you take the $64,800 and you subtract the $50,400, and that gives you $14,400 or $1,200 a month. Here's the thing: if your car, maybe it's car one or car two, right? All these things that go into debt, maybe your credit cards, your student loans, that lawnmower you bought, personal loans, other loans. If all of that is more than $1,200, it's going to eat into your housing or your mortgage budget. And so I'm going to give you a couple of examples so you can kind of see how that feels. The total, 28% of 180,000, 50,400. If you just divide that by 12, you can spend $4,200 a month on a mortgage. You may or may not want to, but that's the first kind of ratio you look at. Well, remember, out of your gross income, 180,000, you got to take federal income tax out of there, which is going to be around the 20 to 24% range of that total. Probably it works in brackets. Like you pay less for the first 10,000 and a little bit more for the next maybe 40,000, a little bit more, and you'll end up in, the 20 something percent tax bracket. But maybe the effective rate is about 32,000 out of your 180, and then another 5.75% state income tax. And so about 40 to 45,000 of the 180 is going to come out for taxes, and you'll have about 140, maybe a little bit less. So you'll end up with around 11,500 ish a month for your take home, right, after taxes. So that's really where your budget starts. And then what all the things that you do with that money, right? Hopefully, if you're anything like us, you give some of it away to a worthy cause, an organization, people in need. We support our church here locally, and then ministries all over the country, and then other nonprofits that we just feel like are doing really cool stuff with organizations or people and things that we love and that we want to support. And so hopefully you're giving some of that money away, and then hopefully you're saving some of it. And so if you give some away and then you save some, if you don't save any for a rainy day, that could get you in hot water. Or if you don't save any for hopefully that retirement one day, well, then you'll just always be working. So, out of that $11,500, maybe you've got like $7,000 or $8,000 a month to work with, right? And so maybe you don't need to be spending $4,200 of $7,000 of disposable income on your mortgage. What is in that $4,200? Well, you have the principal that you borrow, you have the interest on the money on the principal that you borrowed, you have the property taxes, which can be about 1% of the home value. So, $500,000 house, maybe $5,000 a year, and the homeowner's insurance, and potentially the homeowners association. If there's like a neighborhood association, maybe your family lives in a swim, tennis, basketball, gazebo, let's just like the neighborhood I live in, but maybe there's a bunch of community amenities and they need to take care of the landscaping. And so PITI, P-I-T-I, is the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And then you might need to think about, is there an HOA? And so all of that, is going to go into like how much does it cost in your home maintenance, your utilities. So it's more than just your mortgage, but in that principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, you can do up to $4,200. And then obviously your credit and your rate and your down payment all are factored into that. And we'll do an example at the end. So if you're spending the $4,200 and you have a total of 36% or $64,800 of 180,000, well, that's $1,200 a month that you have for other debt. And so, do you have one car financed? Is it two cars that are financed? Do one or both of you have some student loans outstanding as well? And those can be treated a little bit differently. I can introduce you to our lender who can help you walk through how that's treated. But did you buy any furniture, lawn equipment, any personal loans? Is there any debt? Because if that's more than that $1,200, let's use an example. Let's say that you've got the $4,200 max, you've got the $1,200 other debt, you've got a total of $5,400 a month that can be for debt. Well, if one car is $600 and the other car is $500, and the student loan or combined student loans is $400, and then maybe one credit card at $200, another one at $100, and other debt is $300. Well, that's $2,100 a month of other debt. And so the $5,400, you're going to minus the $2,100. That's going to leave you $3,300 a month that you can use to qualify for a mortgage. And so now for a quick example of what that would look like if you were going to spend not the whole $4,200, but what was more in line with what you could afford comfortably which in this example we've talked about is about 3,300. And so you can get a $550,000 home, and let's just say you only had 10% to put down. So that would be 55,000. Let's say you didn't have the whole 110,000 to do. So 10% down, 55,000. You're also going to need some closing costs, which are going to be about $10,000. Could be a little bit less, but let's just say it's going to be about $10,000. And so 55,000 down with $10,000 in closing costs, you're going to need $65,000 cash to close. That's what you'll need to secure the property. I want to break down the payment for you. The principal and interest, and I'm just going to use like a little 4%. It's been bouncing around up and down lately, but 4%. The principal and interest is going to be about $2,350. And then when you add in $500 a month, around $6,000 a year for taxes, property taxes, and then another $100 a month for property insurance, and then lastly, $250 a month for mortgage insurance. That's that PITI, PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. All of that is about $3,200. And then let's say there's $100 a month in homeowners association dues. So that puts you right at $3,300 a month. And so just to kind of review and put a bow on this, $180,000 in income, you're gonna, have about 25%-ish with federal and state taxes. And then after that, you want to give some away, you want to save some for your future, and then you're going to have the rest to live off of, and you don't want to spend it all on your lifestyle. Unfortunately, there's probably some debt in there, maybe cars or student loans or personal loans or credit cards. So that's going to reduce the amount you're going to be able to use to buy a home. But in this example, we talked about a $550,000 home. You're going to need about $65,000 to close, and that's going to leave you with about $3,300 a month in a home payment. And then you got all that other stuff from your housing and transportation, food, groceries, entertainment, lifestyle, kids, all that stuff. So hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, leave those below. As always, we realize that your situation is different. This is probably not exactly like your life or lifestyle looks like, but myself and our team of partners and vendors and lenders, we're all here to serve you. So whether you're moving next week or next year, anytime in between, call, text, email, schedule a Zoom. Happy to help you make a smooth move to Atlanta. And in the meantime, until we see you in person, hopefully we'll see you on the next episode.